Welcome to our channel, Bravo News. Stephen McBee reveals what his future wife looks like, inside the heart of the McBee Dynasty'Bachelor. The Midwest Maverick. On a golden Missouri morning, the sun spilled over the vast McBee farm like it had for generations, bathing the fields in honey-colored light. The chickens clucked, cattle stirred in their pens, and inside the century-old farmhouse, Stephen McBee, reality star, businessman, and the reluctant heartthrob of the McBee dynasty, stood before the mirror in a crisp button-down and boots, deep in thought. He wasn't thinking about crop yields, board meetings, or social media scandals today. He was thinking about love. "It's time," Stephen murmured to himself. "I've been dodging this too long." Since his meteoric rise to fame as the square-jawed, soft-spoken lead of the McBee dynasty, viewers had fallen in love with his charisma and contradictions, a man of the land and a man of the screen. But there was one question America couldn't stop asking. Who would Stephen McBee marry? And today, finally, Stephen was ready to answer. A different kind of interview. Cameras were rolling. McBee was seated in a leather armchair in his newly remodeled ranch house, lit perfectly by natural light streaming through a wall of windows. He didn't want a staged confession. He wanted something real. Producer Megan, who'd worked on the show since day one, leaned forward. "Stephen, the question's simple but important. What does your future wife look like? And we don't mean just physically. Who is she to you?" Stephen chuckled, tugging at the sleeve of his shirt nervously. "That's a big one, Megan. You ready for a deep answer?" She nodded. "Always." He leaned back, eyes fixed on the Missouri sky. "She's strong. Not just the kind of strong people post about in captions. I mean real strength. The kind that shows up when no one's watching." Megan tilted her head. "So, no influencers?" He laughed. "I'm not saying that, but she doesn't chase cameras. She chases purpose. She can wrangle a calf if she needs to, but she doesn't mind wearing heels to dinner either." Fans tuning in live via McBee Uncut, the show's raw online stream, exploded in the chat. "OMG, is he talking about Calla? So she's a farm girl but classy? I'm applying!" "I knew he'd want a strong woman. He's a McBee." But Stephen wasn't done. The Calla question. Of course, the elephant in the room had a name. Calla Jackson. The woman Stephen had once picked on his short-lived dating show, the woman that fans thought would be the one. But months ago, Calla walked away. And this time, for good. The breakup had been quiet. No Instagram drama, no interviews, just silence. So when Megan brought her name up, the air shifted. Was she it? Did she come close? Stephen's eyes dropped to his hands. "She was someone I thought would be my wife, and I still have a lot of love for her, but we were growing in different directions. She needed something different than I could give, and maybe I needed to figure out who I was without trying to fit someone else's mold." That was the first moment Stephen had spoken so candidly about Calla, and it shook fans to their core. R.I.P. Stephen and Calla. So he's single? This is the most vulnerable I've seen him. Building her in words. "I can tell you what she looks like. Not just her smile, but her soul." Megan leaned forward. "Tell me." "She's got eyes that tell the truth even when her lips don't. She laughs at herself, doesn't take life too seriously. She understands what sacrifice looks like, because she's had to make a few." Stephen's voice cracked for the briefest second. "She doesn't need my money, my name, or my show. She shows up because she wants me, even when I'm a mess, especially when I'm a mess." "Physically?" Megan asked gently. He smiled. "That's the thing. I've dated beautiful women. models. But the most beautiful woman I ever saw was the one holding her grandma's hand in church, wiping away her tears and still singing every word of the hymn. My wife looks like heart. A community reacted. Within hours, Twitter, or rather X, was trending with the hashtag Future Mrs. McBee. Fans began submitting fan art, imagined renderings, even AI-generated portraits of what Stephen's dream woman could be. A TikToker named Lauren from Arkansas posted a viral video. Stephen McBee said he wants a woman who cries in church but also fixes fences. Baby, I'm that girl. Where's the application? Others took a more serious tone. One post read, "It's rare for a man to speak about emotional depth like that on national television. Stephen McBee is redefining the definition of masculinity." Suddenly, the story wasn't just about a future wife. It was about what real, raw love looks like when the cameras stop and the barn doors close. Letters from strangers. After the episode aired, Stephen's farm office was flooded. Not with emails, but handwritten letters. Women from all over the country wrote in. Some were young hopefuls from Montana or Georgia. Others were divorced moms with kids. One even came from a retired school teacher who wrote, "If I were 40 years younger, I'd hop on a tractor and ride straight to Missouri." Stephen took the time to read them all. Every single one. He kept a stack of his favorites in a box labeled Real. And when his mom, Christy, asked what he planned to do with them, he said quietly, "I'm going to pray over them. One of these letters might be her." The dream. One stormy night, after a long day branding calves and dealing with legal matters tied to the family empire, Stephen fell asleep in his leather recliner. And he dreamed. In the dream, he was standing under the old willow tree near the pond where he used to fish as a kid. A woman walked towards him. Her features blurry, but her presence unmistakable. She didn't speak. She just took his hand and smiled. The kind of smile that says, "I see all of you, and I'm still here." He woke up with tears in his eyes, and for the first time, he knew. He would know her when he saw her. The mystery DM. Weeks later, an anonymous Instagram account with 0 followers sent Stephen a message. "I heard what you said. I'm not chasing clout. I'm not trying to be on TV, but I've buried a father, raised 2 siblings, built a business, and I still dance barefoot in the kitchen. If you're still looking, I'm here." No name, no photo, no tag. Stephen's fingers hovered over the keyboard for 5 minutes before he finally typed back, "You had me at barefoot dancing." The McBee team traced the IP. It came from Nebraska, but Stephen didn't want to know more. Not yet. The search begins. In a move that stunned fans and shook reality TV to the core, Stephen announced a new docuseries, separate from McBee Dynasty, titled Looking for Her, The McBee Journey. But this wasn't a dating show. No rose ceremonies, no eliminations. "This isn't about ratings," Stephen said in the teaser. "It's about truth. I'm not asking women to come compete. I'm asking women to come be." He launched a nationwide tour, not of cities, but of small towns, churches, farmers markets, county fairs. And at each stop, he asked women one question. What does love look like to you? The final scene. It was in Kansas that he saw her. She wasn't wearing makeup. She was feeding a baby goat at a 4-H stand and laughing like she didn't know cameras were rolling. Her name was Morris. She had a scar on her cheek from a childhood accident. She had no idea who Stephen McBee was. She didn't even own a TV. When he introduced himself, she shrugged. "Cool name. I've got dirt on my shirt, sorry." He grinned. "I don't mind. I own cows." They talked for 2 hours straight about grief, about dreams, about what it means to choose someone every day, even when it's hard. And when the cameras panned out and the credits rolled, Stephen looked at Maris and said softly, "I think I saw you in a dream once." She didn't laugh. She just whispered, "Then I guess you've been waiting long enough." The future Mrs. McBee. To this day, Stephen hasn't confirmed if Maris is the one. They've been spotted together at charity events and were recently seen planting a tree at the McBee farm together. Fans are obsessed. The mystery remains, but if you ask Stephen what his future wife looks like, he'll just smile and say, "She looks like home."